Tucker is correct. Quest Fanning says, $5 super chat. Thank you, and member of the channel. Appreciate you. Tucker is correct. Sanctions have allowed the Russians to figure out how to live without the West. That's the take. That's the joke. So if you want to make a joke somewhere, that's it.
It was $104 US here. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway. Radicalized.
Radicalized. And it will radicalize you unless you understand basic economics.
Explain this to me.
See, $104 for groceries sounds like a great bargain unless you realize Russians earn less than $200 a week. But that's the kind of context that what did you call yourself earlier? A journalist would have provided. But here's the reality. You know all this because you aren't as dumb as your face would have us believe. Perhaps.
So if you wanted to provide context of it, that's not what you would do. You would look at the U.S. sanctions because, see, I have a U.S. first perspective. And so what Tucker is saying is the groceries from a dollar perspective aren't as high as I expected them to be. Because when you look at it, so I said, ChatGPT, give me a list of the sanctions the U.S. did on these people, on the Russians. So they did asset freezes and banking restrictions. And I said, what do you think economically? I already kind of know, but I just want to get from ChatGPT. What do you think the economic impact of this would be? They said that it would limit Russia's access to international financial markets, potentially increasing inflation and making it difficult for Russia to finance imports, including food, leading to higher grocery prices. So what Jon Stewart did was, to me, attempt to cover up for the regime. Wouldn't you, if you want to debunk Tucker, I'm all for it. Wouldn't you go and say, before the Ukraine-Russia war, here's what the grocery prices were. You got. I'm doing this by myself. You got a team of people. You're a professional comedian. They write your jokes for you and they do the research for you. So you could say, team, I'm using ChatGPT, kind of like my team. Team, go find me what the prices were before the Russia-Ukraine war and then after. But then, see, that would be problematic as well because the sanctions really would be going at the regular people. Who are they really hurting? But the design of the sanction is to get the regular people to rally, to overthrow, so Putin isn't as popular. So you look at Putin's popularity, he's a dictator, so who knows if it's accurate? He's still popular right now. So regardless of if that's fake or not, he's not losing power. So the joke here to me is on us, the taxpayers, Joe Biden. You did export controls, technology bans, oil and gas revenue reduction, targeted sanctions, trade restrictions, and import bans, and they look like they're fine to me. If they're not fine, tell me why they're not fine. That's the takeaway from me there. Sanctions always hurt regular people. Yep, I agree. But that's really probably why he wouldn't want to go with that angle, because I'm not for sanctions at all. But that's where, when I look at this, I'm like, what are the sanctions doing? Tucker is correct. Quest Fanning says, $5 super chat. Thank you, and member of the channel. Appreciate you. Tucker is correct. Sanctions have allowed the Russians to figure out how to live without the West. That's the take. That's the joke. So if you want to make a joke somewhere, that's it.